Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session today on iVend dashboards. Myself, Rajesh, I'm having my colleague with me, Mr. Prashant Sharma, who is going to take us with this complete session. This session would be budgeted for around an hour, and we are going to cover all the aspects of the iVend dashboards. We'll have a look at the dashboards, how to edit them, how to create the new ones, and how exactly these dashboards are beneficial for our retailers. And we have all the attendees who are available now. If in case you have any issues, you can raise your hands or you can write it on the chat window so that we'll be happy to deliver you with the answers. I hope everybody can hear us loud and clear. Now I'm just handing this over to Mr. Prashant, who will take us with this complete presentation. Thank you so much. Prashant, it's over to you.
Thanks, Rajesh. Hi, everybody. This is Prashant. I'll be taking you through a 60-minute session on iVend dashboards, and let's not dwell on things and move on to the agenda that we have for this session. Okay, so this is the agenda. We will look at dashboards in general, a brief background on that, dashboards in particularly in iVend. With emphasis on exploring what is pre-built in the system and what can be built. We will also look at mechanisms of looking up pre-built as well as any custom dashboards through the dashboard viewer as well as the web viewer, and then we will have a look at what all pre-built dashboards are inbuilt in the system, and we'll just take a walkthrough through them of how you can go ahead and access them as well as make necessary filtrations as well as export data where possible. And finally, the major component out here will be the dashboard designer of how it works and how you can edit an existing dashboard. So we'll do a small 5-minute exercise on taking up an existing dashboard, modifying it with certain objects, and also building a dashboard from scratch. So we'll do another 5-minute exercise on taking an existing data set and then creating a small dashboard out of it. So let's move on to the first content slide. Okay, dashboards. So I think all the audience would have seen dashboard. They will be using dashboards on a day-to-day basis, creating them for their superiors or for the clients for projecting data and for performance analysis. This is a very short definition directly picked up from Wikipedia, which basically says that generally a dashboard is a single pager providing real-time information and in a graphical format. So the key takeaway are that it is typically a single shot view of information primarily represented in a graphical format, so using graphs and pictorial representation of data, and trying to look at historical trends of organization KPIs to enable instantaneous and informed decisions. So the first part is basically what a dashboard provides, and the second part is what the end takeaway for end users can be from a given dashboard, that they provide information to allow information retrieval as well as assimilation and then subsequently in decision making. Now the second aspect of this slide is that dashboards can be categorized into two major streams. One is standalone and the other one is integrated. On the right hand side you can actually see a couple of snapshots from our iView stack where we have iView applications which are drawing data from SAP Business Fund as well as iVend POS systems, and they will fall into the category of standalone system because they are not integrated either into SAP Business Fund or into iVend POS interface. They rely on the data set provided by both these transactional systems, namely Business Fund and iVend, but they are separate from them. They draw data at a regular basis, typically overnight, and then publish it on their own platform. Whereas the second consideration for the dashboards can be an integrated system, which is what we are going to look at today, which is iVend integrated dashboards directly, which are directly available under the iVend iVend desktop application, as well as also available through the web viewer. Right. So moving further on, okay, dashboards in iVend. So, like I said, dashboards in iVend will fall into the category of integrated dashboards. So they are integrated pre-built dashboards with currently the set that is available in terms of pre-built dashboards uh, uh, focusing on multidimensional sales analysis, merchandise hierarchy analysis, as well as inventory status uh, analysis. So nothing to elaborate, it is self-explanatory that they are integrated directly into the iVend systems. You don't need an external component or an external stack to actually populate these dashboards on a daily basis and have a look at them. Now, going further on, there are a couple of ways of actually accessing either the pre-built dashboards, or if you have customized dashboards for your own needs. These are dashboard viewer and dashboard web viewer. And the last thing, as already stated, is the dashboard designer, which helps you in customizing an existing pre-built dashboard as well as build a new dashboard from scratch. So moving further on. Okay, dashboard viewer. So dashboard viewer is meant for accessing both the pre-built dashboard that are already canned in the system, as well as any custom dashboard that might have been customized or modified or created from scratch. User-wise restrictions by dashboards are available in the dashboards viewer. Now, one major benefit of using iVend dashboards is that the dashboards viewer as well as the pre-built dashboards come in each version of iVend. That is, they are also available in the community edition, and obviously they are available in the business edition. So there is no restriction in terms of accessing the dashboard viewer for looking at existing dashboards and populating them and drawing inferences out of them. The second aspects of visualizing iVend dashboard is the dashboard web viewer. Now this is slightly different in terms of licensing. It is licensed per user and it's not available in the community edition, and in the business edition it is licensed per user, and it runs only of iVend enterprise dataset, whereas the dashboard viewer can be run on the store level, also on the management console, running at the store level, running off store database, whereas the dashboard web viewer only works off the iVend enterprise dataset. So while we are at it here right now, before moving, okay, the next one is on the pre-built dashboards itself. So let's move slightly away from the slides and let's go directly to iVend in general. So I'll just open up. So I've opened up management console through a manager login, and you can see under the reports section there, apart from all the other canned reports which are available under iVend, there is a section for dashboards where there is a list of dashboards which are pre-built in the system. So we'll start off with looking at some sales report, and then moving on to the inventory snapshot, and then finalizing with the merchandise hierarchy reporting in under dashboards. So we'll start off with a simple sales report. Maybe let's start off with the bottom one, which is the sales trend. Now, if you go and search for a dashboard viewer under iVend, you won't get it by name. But basically, all the dashboards that are created priorly, which are directly available in the system, or you go ahead and customize and create a new dashboard, they will be listed under dashboards hierarchy tree. And when you click on it, on the right hand side, a dashboard viewer will open directly, which will display that particular dashboards out here. So we are currently looking at the sales trend dashboard under the existing set of iVend dashboards out here. So if I can just minimize it so that it blows up. Right. So the data set is slightly sparse in for this demonstration, but you can primarily see yearly sales, quarterly sales, weekday sales by different days of the week, monthly sales. So we have got 2 months of data, March and April out here, as well as daily sales for out here. So fairly simple analysis, but if you want to have a quick grab on periodic sales trend of how the organization is doing, uh, this provides a succinct summary in terms of an overview. Now, slightly quick takeaways out here. The whole dashboard has got multiple objects. We have got 5 major objects out here, and they are fairly explanatory. Some are bar charts, other are line charts. We might encounter other type of objects out there while we go through the whole list. You can, for example, weekday sales has got sales amount, refund amount, and net sales amount listed out there. For if you a simple question can be, how can I export this data so that I can possibly use it in a presentation or in a Word document? There are a couple ways of doing that. You can click on this export button and it will give you an option to export to PDF or export to image. So if you, for example, if you click on export to PDF, it will open up a dialog box where you can put down, if you want to change portrait or landscape mode, as well as the title and filter state if you want to put it down. And when you click on export, it will give you, it will ask for a placeholder for the file that will be generated. So let's put it as weekday sales, and that file will be available under my documents folder, which is here. So the PDF document has been generated out of that particular chart object. And similarly is the case, okay, that was the web viewer. Let's go back to the management console, and similarly will be the case with the other exporting option which will be export to image. If you click on that, you will get a similar dialog and you can save the exported image as a PNG file in a location of your choosing. So that was the very simple but useful sales trend dashboards. Let's close that and look at another sales analysis dashboard, which is the sales transactions. Now here it gives you the number of transactions for a particular store, which is the Greenfield store out here, as well as the same information by different customer group. Now it's a single customer group out here, so that's why the whole information has been shown by a single highlight, which is by the blue color. If you had multiple customer group or multiple stores, the same would have been listed out separately. Sales top performers. Now here the top performers are listed out by stores, by product groups, by salespersons, customer groups. Like I said, there was only a single customer group as well as a single product group out there, and multiple product groups out there, and different customers in that list. You can export any of these particular charts directly by using the same mechanism that was illustrated earlier, that you can click on export to and then export it as a PDF or as an image, which you can subsequently embed in an external document for presentation. Further on, I'm just closing it so that the system looks uncluttered, whereas if you keep on clicking it, they will keep on opening up on top of each other. Now sales contribution. Now this is a slightly different dashboard where you have a pie chart contribution and a pie chart contribution display by POS, by product groups, by customer groups, and by salesperson. And one other aspects of the dashboards also come into the picture, which is the filtration list. Like for example, currently we have got only a single store out here, but we have got multiple points of sale. So if I click on a point of sale and try to identify, so I want to only look at point of sale, which is the name of a POS system. When I click on it, the rest of all the other objects filter out the data only for that particular selection. Whereas if I go and look at point of sales too, the same filtration happens for that particular selections. Let's select. Okay. You can export this whole one other aspect which is also available out here is that you can export this whole dashboard rather than from an individual object, but the dashboards in totality. So you can click on export to and click on export to PDF, sales contribution. Let's click on export and click on sales contribution out here. And if you can open up the PDF that was exported, the whole set has been exported rather than an individual object. So going back to the management console and then selecting all of them, you get the price set that we started out off with. Any questions you can directly put up on the chat window, and Rajesh will help me out with any questions
Yep.
that are
Yeah, certainly we had only one question so far, which I have answered on the chat window. So everybody, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands or just write it on the chat window. I'll take care of this. Thank you, Prashant. You can move ahead. Yeah, I think there is one question from Steve. Yes, can you export it to Excel? Yes. I think you can export it to the PDF. Are you talking about the dashboard reports?
Currently, the possibility is only with exporting it to PDF,
yes,
as well as the individual object's image. So you can embed
that's right.
as an image into you can first of all export it as a PNG file, and then insert that particular PNG file into, let's say, a PowerPoint presentation or a Word document. The possibility of Excel, I can't commit, but it might come up in later versions of iVend. Currently, it's not present directly from the dashboard view.
Yeah, and the generic reports of iVend which are available as on date would definitely be able to, we will be able to export them. But as far as the dashboards are concerned, typically we'll be able to export them into the PDFs, and maybe we'll look for these options for the releases. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, right. Moving further on, this is the upsell report. So I clicked on sales upsell for the Greenfield store, since that is the only store present in the system. You can see that upsell information is very limited in nature, so you will get very small bars. So for example, I'm looking at Q2 of 2014, and the overall net sales is 17.3K, whereas the upsell sales in the same period is only $36. And similarly, it's a very similar report. So you've got yearly yearly promotions sales. It looks like I've clicked on promotional sales or upsells. Let's look. Maybe I think I clicked on promotion sales out there. So sorry about that, but okay. Promotional sales is the same analysis, but obviously it's for promotional sales rather than upsell sales out here, where you got for year, quarter, weekday, month, and day wise net sales versus promotional sales as a bar chart. Gift certificates, yeah, there is data. So I was slightly apprehensive whether we have got data to actually represent anything out here. So you can see that you got net sales by year, and GC sales and redemption sales. So gift certificate sales, and then subsequently redemption sales against the same for that particular store, since there is a single store in the system right now, by year, by quarter, by weekdays, month, and day wise. Okay, so that basically covers up in total dashboards related to sales in general. Now moving to a slightly different aspects of dashboarding out here, which is inventory snapshot. Now the same report I understand is directly available under iVend canned reports in that above list under inventory analysis. But here the only difference is that you can go ahead and manipulate the data by clicking on individual product groups rather than putting out filters and taking basically a tabular report out here. So currently the report gives you a bar chart by warehouse and by product group, and you can go ahead and select let's say a product group. So if I select on books, it gives me an in stock and available quantity for different book titles out there, which are listed as item description or basically products in the systems. And subsequently, if you could click on electronics, or if you want to select, you can simply drag and select a couple of product groups and have the same on this available on the right hand side. What we'll do is that report did not look very elaborate. So during our exercise of using the dashboard designer, we'll actually pick up that inventory snapshot report and we'll try to create something different. Maybe use another object to illustrate the same information that was visible as a bar chart in that inventory snapshot report. Now moving further on to primarily the three categories are general sales analysis, inventory snapshot, and merchandise hierarchy analysis. For that, there is a certain amount of data available in the system related to merchandise hierarchy sales. So let's click on the first one, which is the merchandise sales dashboard. So it gives you the hierarchy on the left hand side, selections, year, and store, and then on the right hand side are the actual objects. So you have got a couple of hierarchy listed on there, listed in the system, namely apparels, and then the other one is stationery. So one is a simple tabular report, whereas other one is net sales without tax, which looks like not be carrying much data, and the last one is the hierarchy contribution. So it doesn't looks to have much data in the system related to net sales with quantity. So let's just close it and maybe move on to maybe a monthly analysis. Okay, so it looks like that the system has got the hierarchy built in and everything has been sold by 0. So that's why everything is coming out as 0 out there. Doesn't looks really good, and comparative analysis is also the same. Okay. Current year. And then previous year, obviously there is nothing there is no data related to prior year sales for merchandise hierarchy, whereas for the current year there is some data on there. And on the right hand side you've got contribution listed out by a simple pie chart. So if you look at it, and okay, so stationery and toys are 27%, whereas apparels are 72% for current year's net sales. So if I click on apparel, okay, so how did I know that there was a drill going on? Other charts are static without any hierarchical drill built into it. But if a chart has got a drill up button, then you can be pretty sure that the designer who has created this particular dashboard has got a hierarchy or a dimensional drill going down on this particular chart objects. So you can simply click on a particular slice of the pie and then keep on drilling. So let's click on menswear, then formal wear, tops, men's Levi's jeans, and so on and so forth. And you could go up the drill by clicking on the up button to go back to the very top. So this particular report, merchandise comparative sales, obviously has got some data to back the objects out there. It has got current year's sales. It doesn't have any prior sales, so we can't actually show you the variance thereof. But it has got a hierarchy listed out as a tabular chart, as well as contributions listed out on the pie chart itself through a hierarchical drill. So that was an overview. The dashboards might not look elaborate. The thing is, it might be our iVend's very first shot in creating dashboards. So the technology is there. The technology is embedded into the iVend POS system. As a first shot, we have created a set of dashboards which are available in the systems. Going forward, obviously based upon the feedback, we will go ahead and, like we have previously done in the crystal reports list, which is available under the report sections. Most of those reports were not present in prior versions of iVend, but over a period of time, based upon requirements and requests, they have been added to the system as standard canned reports and have become an integral part of the offering. Same will happen with the pre-built dashboards in the iVend system. We will revise them over time and then basically make them more elaborate, as well as more user-friendly and meaningful in terms of the business value that they bring to the whole setup. There was on the slide itself, there was a consideration of that we can possibly go ahead and restrict user access to this whole all the reports out there. We can go ahead. Okay, oh dear. We can, yeah, security roles, and let's pick up, let's say, administration role or user role. And if I go ahead and edit out there and assign security rights under the report section, I picked up the administration role user role out here. But you can do the same with the user roles, and you can go ahead and allow disallow by different roles access to these dashboards for particular users. So just like all the other reports on the systems, dashboards are also listed in this particular list. For example, inventory snapshot dashboard is listed out here, and by default everybody has got full access, especially under the administrative role. But you can go ahead and change them to be only available for reading and updating, or no access at all, and then commit out there. So based upon users roles, the administrator can restrict access to the dashboards, the pre-built as well as any custom developed dashboards for particular user roles, and then subsequently obviously to the to particular users. Let's come back to the slide out here. So we looked at dashboard viewer. The other aspect of visualizing dashboards under iVend is through the dashboard web viewer. So I just want to reiterate that this is a license component available for the business edition, and the license is by individual users. So let's say if a client has purchased 5 dashboard web viewer licenses, then only 5 users are allowed to actually go ahead and access through a web-based interface. Now, what is the basic utility of this kind of access mechanism is that whereas iVend integrated dashboards which are directly available from the management consoles required you to run a desktop application, if you are able to publish it through web browser, and possibly if with all the other security restrictions in place, also connected to a static IP, you can take these dashboards for those power users make them accessible for them over the web. So rather than they being tied up while they are roaming across the world or working from home or any other particular user scenario, they will not be required to log on through a VPN to their organization systems, but rather than if the same system, the dashboard web viewer access is available on a static IP, they can just log on to a particular URL and then access those dashboards as long as they are authorized to over the web. So how do you access it? It's very simple. Since I'm running it from localhost, basically the server is local. The simple URL is the machine or static IP and / iVend report viewer, which takes me through a credential check. So the same credential that I've used to log on to manager on the management console, I've used the same credentials to log on to this particular portal which is running locally. So it basically has got the same list of dashboards which are available in my management console. So currently inventory snapshot is visible out here. So like I said, I can go ahead and make selections. So for example, books or bedding service. Okay, let's just run it again. Okay, so basically I had prepared to showcase this before the session started, and the session has expired, so I need to relog in. Okay, so let's. So yeah, we are back with this, and if I click on, let's say, books, so the same reporting that is available in a desktop environment is also available through a web-based environment through the iVend dashboard web viewer. The URL is very simple, and like I said, if it so requires, the same URL can be mapped to a static IP and then can be made available over the web for power users. Coming back to the PowerPoint. So just a recap, dashboard viewer is available for all versions of iVend. Even in the community edition, it is available along with all the canned dashboards. You can put in user-wise restriction based upon roles through the management console, whereas the web viewer is different. It is only available in the business edition, and on top of that, you need a separate license per user to make it available for those selected users. And last but not the least, the web viewer only runs on iVend enterprise dataset. You can't connect it to the stored dataset and make it run. It will run only on the iVend enterprise dataset. So moving further on, so we have already looked at the pre-built dashboards. So you can go ahead and view them. You can filter data based upon wherever filters are available. You can click on them and then subsequently go ahead and export the same data currently on only two formats. One is as a PDF and secondly as an image. A valid request of exporting to other mechanisms like Excel might be taken up down the line, but currently the version that are available only provides those two factors of those two forms of exporting data, which is the PDF as well as the image. Now, Dashboard Designer. So let's cancel that. Let's close all the dashboards that are visible out here. Okay, first and foremost, Dashboard Designer. Let's open up.
Hi Glenn, just to answer your query over here, the web viewer license is actually per user based. It's not a concurrent license, and user has to forcefully go for a named license. It's not a concurrent one. So basically, if suppose you have 10 users who are going to use it, over the web, then you would be requiring 10 additional licenses for web viewer. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks Rajesh.
Thank you.
I think the question was that you can buy, let's say you've got 100 users who would require web access of iVend dashboard, and can you buy, for example, 10 web viewer licenses and use them like a concurrent or a session based. It's not so. They are linked to individual users, and you have to predefine those users, and then subsequently if the user requirements increases, then you will have to go for purchase of additional licenses to fulfill those requirements. They can't be swapped using a concurrent or session based mechanism. Okay, dashboard designer. So okay, here, okay, this is the last slide actually. Okay, dashboard designer also is a license component under iVend, and you only require a single license under the business edition to make it available to anybody. Now the second question can be, okay, if it becomes available to anybody, then any user can go ahead and play around with it and modify our existing dashboard and basically mess up things which have been laid down. So now that can easily be controlled. So you can go ahead to the human resources section. I clicked on a particular employee and clicked on edit. So you can see that under the checkboxes which are given on the bottom, I can allow for dashboard designer. So basically this is the user that I've logged in currently on the management console. So I've allowed dashboard designing for this particular user. By default, they are unchecked. So the admin has to go ahead and basically allow particular users for them to be eligible for dashboard designing, as well as a dashboard web viewer. That is also the control panel element out there. So what happens if when you allow dashboard designer and basically check this? So what you get is that you get under reports another element which is the dashboard designer available in the list just above the tree for dashboards. So all those dashboards which are visible in the systems are listed out there. Any new dashboards which you create by clicking on the new button and then subsequently going ahead with the exercise of creating that, and if you make them enabled, they will be listed out here also. So what we are going to do is we'll pick up one of those dashboards, and I think like I said previously, the inventory snapshot report, the inventory snapshot dashboard look pretty sparse, so we can go ahead and possibly modify to a certain extent to showcase in brief of how we go ahead and actually edit a particular dashboard which is already present or create something new. So we'll close off with a snapshot report and then subsequently go ahead with creating something from scratch which is not available or covered by any of the dashboards which are already in the system. So let's click on, we clicked on inventory snapshot and clicked on edit button, and then it will just show you that this is the code and this is the description of the dashboard, and it's currently enabled. And in order to bring up the dashboard designer, I clicked on design dashboards, which brings this up. So what has been done out here is that we have got the viewer where you click on the report and it basically views gives that particular dashboard on the right hand side. We have also embedded the actual dashboard designer, and this is the very same interface that the designers of the dashboards which are already built into the system has used. So the same tool set is also available to the licensed users of iVend who have taken a dashboard designer license and made them available to particular user by toggling that particular checkbox out there. So on the top, there is a simple ribbon bar with options for home, data sources, view, data, and design. What we are going to do is not trying to do anything more elaborate. This is not a full-fledged multi-hour training session on dashboard designing per se, but just to have a look at the capabilities of the system and have a brief overview of how things actually play out in terms of actually designing a particular dashboard. Simple question can be, what if I want to get into the actual nitty-gritties and want to become basically a wizard in terms of showcasing to a particular prospect or a particular client. You can the starting off point will be go to the CKP, download the latest iVend post documentation, and under the section dashboard designer, all the possible objects which are present in the system which can be integrated are illustrated in great details in terms of their properties and how to make them available on the dashboard. So that will be the starting off point. Go to CKP and download the latest iVend post documentation and look up for dashboard designer out there. Okay, so here currently you have got the same things. You've got a list of warehouses and product groups as objects out there. So when I click on them, their related properties are visible under the data items. Whereas if I click on that particular object, the data items are more elaborate because we have got arguments and values listed out there. When I click on it, you can clearly identify and make sense of what goes where. So arguments basically carries what the dimensions that I need to have in place in that particular object. So product name was the dimension which goes in the argument section, whereas the value section will carry in stock and available quantity summations which build up those two bars out there. On the extreme left, you have got the basic fields. So okay, a slight background, and if people who actually came in at the very start would have seen me opening up SQL Server Management Console out there. I just wanted to illustrate that all these dashboards are running, but not as base queries. They are running off views. So there are views that have been created for all the pre-built dashboards in the system. So if I can just open up and illustrate that on the Microsoft SQL Server. So this is the database that I'm using for running this instance of iVend out here. And under the views section, you have got a list of views. So whatever views have got the prefix VW analytics underscore are related to the dashboard. So those views have been created primarily for powering up all these dashboards that you can see at the from the management console out there. There might be certain views which are powering other things also, but primarily VW analytics underscore designates a view which was created for powering up the dashboards under iVend. So where you can clearly see, if you can toggle back and forth between that, this particular inventory snapshot dashboard is running off of a view which has the same name, that is inventory snapshot. And if I can go back to the SQL Server, this is the VW inventory snapshot underscore inventory snapshot is the view that is basically carrying the query which is powering this up. Now, this makes things simpler for a dashboard designer, because they can look at all these views present in the system. They can pick and choose a view which best serves their purpose in terms of data elements present in that particular view. Now, if I go back to inventory snapshot, it has got these data elements coming out of the view. You've got product group, product ID, name, warehouse ID, name for the warehouse, available quantity, in stock quantity, and price, of which basically product names and in stock and available quantity and names of warehouse and product groups have been used in the objects which are presented on the dashboards. If you want to have, let's say, for inventory snapshot, some other information which are present in the snapshot table of iVend, you can go ahead and open up SQL Server, modify that particular view, and as long as you are well versed in two aspects, one is SQL querying for creation of views, and second is iVend relationship of tables of transaction masters under iVend, you can go ahead and modify those views to serve your own needs, basically extend existing views, or you can go ahead and create your own views for creating of a scratch of a dashboard from scratch if so requires. Now currently out here, we have opened up Dashboard Designer and picked up this particular dashboard, which was inventory snapshot, because we did not actually like how it looked. So what we can do is we can possibly add, let's try a pivot chart out here. Right, so I clicked on pivot under home, and it landed me a blank pivot chart by the name pivot 1 at the bottom right hand corner. Now I can go ahead, and since this is a currently selected object, you can show the data items for this particular pivot chart, for which everything is blank right now. So let's go ahead and add some rows. So I like to add warehouse name. So when I selected and dragged under rows warehouse name, it got added, and you can see there are 2 warehouses available in the system for me to actually visualize. And then subsequently, not product name, because there will be too many product names out here, so just add product groups. So yeah, so there is a hierarchy of Acme e-commerce. Now we can see a simple question can be in your mind that, okay, I thought there were lots of product groups, how come only apparels are shown out here? That is why, because I have not reloaded data, I am in the design mode. So I don't want to burden myself by picking up, because you might be running off of a system which has got maybe gigabytes of gigabytes on the coming out of that particular view, which is powering up the dashboard that you are trying to create. So basically the system, what does it just restricts the lines that are generated out of the view, and then basically helps you in that creating of the dashboard, and you can go at the very end and you can simply reload the data to actually look at what will actually look like when you are populating the whole data set which is coming out of that particular view. But during the design phase, it's best not to reload data, because it will be come in memory and then will create another bottleneck during the design process. So I added under rows warehouse and product group, and under values I will like to add maybe only available quantity out there. So here it goes. So I've got available quantity as a system. Now it's giving me available quantity considering it as a monetary unit, but let's change the format to not from auto, put it as number. Yeah, so now it makes sense that I've got under Acme e-commerce apparel 5K. And now if I want to look at of how it will actually look when I reload the whole data. Okay, and now something changed. Increase the chart size to view its layout. Now what happens is, since I have not made any selection under product group, and this particular chart was by product, and there are so many thousands of products in the system, it's not able to populate everything. So maybe if I can go ahead and select something which is slightly has got lesser amount of data. Yeah, so for example, I clicked on anniversary under product group, and it has got a single product which is Wrangler jeans. So that's why we're able to populate. Now this thing can happen when you have got an object of whose dimensions is such that it populates into thousands of data points which are not able, which the system is not able to populate in a given area. So you can simply go ahead and basically filter down the data so that it becomes visible. So whereas the bottom chart was pretty much I mean par for the course. So how do you deselect? So clear master filter, if I click on clear on master filter, leave aside what we are looking at the top, and look at the table that we created, a pivot table we had created using an existing view which was inventory snapshot, and we were able to list out by warehouse and then subsequently by product group. And if you want, just to elaborate things, I can go ahead and select this and maybe add product names also, and it will be added out here. So what if you want product groups to be out here and product names to be in a columnar fashion. So you can move it to columns, and you can see that under April, so you can get a very elaborate cross-table report of warehouse versus warehouse and product group wise, and then product name wise on the very top as a cross table. How do you commit? Oh, another question can be, let's say I messed things up. How do I revert back to what I already had? So the simple way is to simply do a cancel and go back to the initial list of the dashboards under the dashboard designer. But if you want to, let's say, commit, you can go ahead and click on OK, and then OK again, and the changes that you made would have been committed in the system. Now, how to check whether what you committed got actually stored in the system? So you can go ahead and open through the dashboard viewer the inventory snapshot report, and you got the same report that we just modified with this additional object of a pivot table. And you can simply click on anniversary and get the above chart also to work for you as of now. Now, is the same thing has been replicated on the web also? Yes, it is. So if I can open up my dashboard of web viewer and then click on show, maybe it might ask me for relogging because the session might have expired, but let's wait for it. Yes. So let's click on anniversary for yes. So the same report that was available through the desktop embedded application is also available on the web. The look and feel is slightly different because it's using HTML elements to actually populate this, whereas on the desktop application you can have a lot more flexibility in terms of presentation. But in a nutshell, you get the very same report as soon as you commit and make any changes. It's also available out here on the web. So let's go back to the designer and just close this, and we are back to the dashboard designer, and let's try to create something from scratch, and then let's play around with, let's say, more elements. So apart from a pivot chart, let's create maybe a graph, some other graph like a contribution chart or a trend line or something like that. So if you go through the list, there is nothing related to salespersons out here. And if you go to this list, there is a view VW Analytics _ salesperson which is present. So we can use the same view to power up a salesperson dashboard, a very crude dashboard which will we will use up maybe 10 minutes to actually go ahead and create this. So okay, how do we start? Click on new, give it a name, salesperson test dashboard. I'll just copy the same in the description also, and then click on design dashboard. So it gives me a blank sheet to start off with. Now first and foremost is to select a data source, a correct view for our purposes. So I'll pick up salesperson. Now you'll see that here VW Analytics _ has been cut off. So basically it's by design so that people don't get confused. So basically takes up the later portion, which is after the underscore out there. So let's click on salesperson and let's see, okay, it has got some information. So maybe if you're not happy with this exercise, you can go ahead and modify that particular view in SSMS, and they basically go ahead and open this particular view under the design mode and modify the query that is powering that view and bring in more elements, maybe product groups or stores or the like. It's basically generating only 4 data elements which are coming out of it, you can go ahead and modify them to add more more columns for more nuance analysis. So let's come back to the dashboard that we're trying to create for salesperson. So now first and foremost, I would like to maybe edit the title out there. So rather than simply dashboard, let's rename it as salesperson dashboard. Okay, so salesperson dashboard. Now the next thing will be, let's create a very simple, I think a pie chart to do a simple contribution analysis. Right, so I clicked on pies, it gave me a blank space. I can go ahead and add arguments, so I can add under argument salesperson and under value salesperson total out there. Okay, so here we've got two salesperson, one is user 002 and other one is store, and this is the contribution that has been generated by the respective salesperson. I want to rename this pie chart, so I will go to edit names. Okay, how did I get through? I clicked on the caption and I then clicked on edit names. I want to rename it as contribution and values are salesperson total. So salesperson total. So this is one. Now second thing is I want to create a trend chart. So trend chart are best represented by a line trend. So I click on, there is no lines out there, but I think this chart can help me. So I clicked on chart and then subsequently this is the chart that I got. Now I want to modify, rather than maybe a bar chart, I will like a simple line chart out there and pressed on OK. Now on the x-axis, we should go under the argument heading. I want business date. So I got business date, but I got them by year. Let's keep them as year and let's see what happens. And then subsequently I want to put on the y-axis salesperson total. So I got something, but it's only 2014. So let's modify business date. Now the system is, intelligent enough to basically, for the more discernible dimension, it can discern whether it is a date dimension or it is a simple text dimension or a numerical dimension or something like that. And primarily it's best suited that it can understand dates, and you can have the possibility of just toggling rather than writing a query or doing a casting operation. You can simply change this particular business date to be represented rather than by year, but rather by day, month, and year. It looks like everything happened on 4th of 4th. Nonetheless, let's okay, month and year. Okay, everything looks like okay. Yeah, I got confused because I have not reloaded the whole data. Let's see what happens if I reload the whole data. And I clicked on reload. No changes. So let's make it slightly different. Okay. It looks like this is the only data that we have. So sorry guys, we don't have much data to actually visualize an actual trend line. Right, but still we can add something. What if I want to select those particular salesperson, so I can use the grid object. So I get a grid. Now I want to add salesperson under, okay, sorry, columns out here. So I get a grid of salesperson out there, and I can go ahead and edit names as salesperson. So yeah, salesperson is coming in twice, so I'll just don't want to show the caption out there, right? And then subsequently I want to allow the system the possibility that if I select on a particular salesperson, the other charts go through a certain change. So if I want to go ahead and go to here, yeah, single master filter. So I want to put it as not single. Let's do it as a multiple master filter. The difference is if I put down under this particular uh, list view, if I put down a single master filter, then I can select only a single uh, salesperson basically at a given point of time. I can't select multiple, so let's put it down as multiple master filter. So I can go ahead and select multiple. Yeah. So here what we did was that we created a simple contribution chart, a simple line chart. It just so happened that we don't have data to actually illustrate that it will come out as a particular line, but and then subsequently we created a filtration list using one of the objects that are present, and then by using this particular toggle of multiple master filter, I can select a single salesperson or select both of them, and then have a look at of how the other objects which are in this particular dashboards are affected by that. Now, a simple question might be coming up is that there is another uh, dashboarding which comes in the standalone dashboarding stack. That is the iView dashboards, where you click on something and every other dashboard or every other tab gets affected by that. Here things are not that complicated. Let me put it in that way. All the dashboards are individual in by their nature. When you open up a dashboard under the viewer and make any selections, the other dashboards will not have any effect. So you can't carry, and on the flip side, you can't carry selections from a dashboard to another dashboard and expect that the data to seamlessly flow through. All the dashboards are individual in nature. On a particular dashboard like we have out here, you can have relationship between individual elements. So for example, like here salesperson is present on these two other objects and are related by the view. So when you put down salesperson as a filter by using the grid object, you can select salesperson, and subsequently we have already seen on prior dashboard that you can select uh, warehouses or stores or period. But but whatever selection that I make on this particular new dashboards will not affect any other dashboards which are created priorly or you have opened up simultaneously, also will not get affected. So okay, based upon this exercise, we have created a simple contribution chart, a simple try to create a simple line diagram, and simply, okay, let's do something related to cards. I can go ahead and maybe, okay, here I want to actually show you the salesperson total. Okay, so the overall, so cards are best used as a mechanism of using text, of giving out textual information. It has also got possibilities of using a target versus actual comparison. So you can have target and you can have the actual presented and block letters, whereas against the targets you can elaborate the particular card to provide textual information with possibilities of target versus actual, whereas right here right now I'm using it very simply to bring out salesperson total only. Let's put down salesperson total. Okay, so whereas if I go ahead and select a single salesperson, that was the first salesperson out there, which was store, the total which is against that particular salesperson is represented out here, and similarly for the other one also. I can go ahead and Also, as a filter using the grid object, create. Now here, what I'm trying to do is place it on the, yeah, not it. Okay, you need deftness with the mouse to actually place a particular object and make it. Well, okay, let's stick with this. And what I basically wanted to do was have a month using business date as a starting point. I wanted to create, not year, but basically by, let's say, month and year. Okay, so let's say if I had multiple years, I wanted to have salesperson as a selection filter, and then subsequently business date, month and year as a selection filter. And let's try to, keep. Now these are the vagaries of dashboard creation. It looks very simple to start off with, but uh, uh, in order to drag a particular object so that it fits into its particular position can be tricky. Come on. Yeah, basically, yeah. Now, so I've got contribution on the top, a line chart if it had got multiple months or multiple dates to go along with this. I had a contribution chart, a line chart displaying a periodic trend, selection filters for salesperson, as well as month and year. So and a card view for a single snapshot of performance, basically salesperson total, which I can further filter it down by selecting an individual salesperson or by date or by particular month. So this is a very simple dashboard that we've just created in maybe 5 minutes. If you want to elaborate on this, you can do a lot of things. You can have a gamut of gauges and other chart possibilities. Like, for example, if I look at it, you can have bar chart, line chart, range, financial charts if you're so interested, and the requirement is suited for that particular chart type, to go ahead and explore the possibilities. Now, some other elements which are visible out here, like choropleth map and geopoint map, and basically any kind of mapping related objects visible on the top, do require specific data set, that is latitude and longitude information for
Hi Prashant, sorry to
for
interrupt you
actual
here.
utility.
Hello Prashant. Prashant, can you hear me? I'm sorry to interrupt you
Rajesh,
here. Can you see
yeah,
the
Rajesh.
chat messages?
Just a second.
Yeah,
I'm running it on.
Thank you. I'll just mute myself. Thanks.
Okay, I probably missed it, but how can I access the iVend designer window? Okay. Well, we should.
That has been answered actually, Prashant. You can move ahead. I have answered it on the chat window to the participant. Okay.
Okay.
So you can probably move ahead. There's no problem. You can just go through the last chat which I have recently sent. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So, so I think I have consumed the allocated time which was scheduled for this section, for this session, and just a small recap. So I'll just flip through the slides that I already had and basically go through all the slides. So basically what we looked at was of how dashboards have been integrated into iVend. So there is a component which comes built into iVend POS management console, which allows you to view dashboards which are canned in the system. They are primarily related to sales analysis, inventory snapshot, and merchandise hierarchy. There are two possibilities of viewing the existing or any custom dashboard. One is through the dashboard viewer. Second one is through the web viewer. Web viewer requires a separate license per user, and which is also the same case with dashboard designer. Dashboard designer requires a single license to make it available to all the particular users. Now, individual users can be prohibited from accessing the dashboard designer by the administrator by unchecking the possibility of viewing the dashboard designer. And then we subsequently looked at the existing dashboard that we have got canned in the system, as well as tried to modify an existing dashboard and create a dashboard from scratch by using a predefined view. Final takeaways can be from this session is that if you want to explore more possibilities in terms of experimenting with dashboard design, is open up the iVend POS documentation and look up the dashboard design section. Secondly is that if you want to actually create more elaborate dashboard, then the next step will be go ahead and create your own views or pick up an existing view which goes along with the dashboard designer under SQL Server and add the dimension or measure elements that you want to be placed on that particular dashboard that you have in mind. Now, and last but not the least, dashboard design takes up a lot of time in terms of, okay, a very simple dashboard that we created for salesperson is very simple to create, but if you want to have something more elaborate, then first of all you need to identify the specification of what you need to present. Secondly, identify the data source, calculations, etc. that need to be presented. And thirdly, identify the mix mechanism to display. So identify the correct chart object, how to place them, what all filters should go with that, what are possibilities of filtering that you might need to require to make the dashboard meaningful to the end user. And those are the final takeaways from the session. So I can close from my side. Rajesh, if you want to carry on.
Thanks, Prashant, for that brief information about the dashboards, and it was fantastic session that has been delivered to the audience. And everybody, thank you so much for your time. At any point in time, please feel free to contact us on the CKP, or you can send your queries to Prashant and myself. We will be happy to serve you with the answers and the assistance if you require anything on the dashboards. We would promise you to have some more sessions in near future with the dashboards and of course the new features and functionalities that we are going to incorporate in our product. And once again, thank you so much. Thanks, Prashant. Have a great day. Thank you.